What's going on, yo? Welcome back to basketball. And more importantly, it feels like Christmas. Oh my goodness. NBA free agency arrived today. And your boy AVC is here to kind of recap you in the last 24 hours as to what's been going on with free agency. I think I'm going to be doing this for at least the next 2 or 3 days as all the major moves kind of take place. So sit back, relax. This is going to be one that you want to just put on while you're doing something else. Listen to me in my soothing voice in the background of whatever it is that you're doing, because we've got a lot to talk about. As always, make sure you guys like, subscribe, and comment. I've responded to every single comment to my YouTube channel up to this point, and I intend to keep on doing so. I'm rushing through this so we can go talk about all the fun news. I'll be covering stuff all week, so make sure you guys ring the bell, do all that fun stuff. All right, let's move into it. First thing, and again, we're kind of covering the last 24-ish hours, going to try to go in kind of a timeline order of things. And I do have things like Spot Track pulled up so we can keep up with everything else going on as it happens. I'm sure other things are going to get announced while I'm making this video. I'm recording this at 7:33 Central Time. First thing, Deandre Ayton got bought out. He had $35 million on his contract this last year, and I believe he renounced $10 million of it to just become an unrestricted free agent. Instantly when this happened, I had a couple thoughts. I'm like, okay, yeah, this was probably something predetermined quite a while ago. That's part of the reason they took Hanson Yang in the first round, and I find it interesting that there was no market for him whatsoever, or they just wanted to get off of him for whatever reason. I don't know. It was a little bit weird in that sense, but it's not a huge deal. There was no point in him being on the roster. He was more so hurting the development of people rather than helping. We all know the thing with Ayton. He's a valuable basketball player in a lot of senses, because you'll have those really dominant nights where he'll give you 20 and 15, but he also he draws no fouls. He plays kind of a soft game. I hate calling people that, but it is true. Instantly I go, this guy should be a Los Angeles Laker. Just go sign for a minimum contract. You already got paid this year. Just go raise your value by playing around really smart and strategic people in LeBron, Luka, and JJ Redick, where all you have to do is just do a very simple role of block shots, get rebounds, dunk the basketball, and you'll make so much more money again. So that would be my recommendation. He's still a free agent at this time. Scrolling up, Ziaire Williams got a 2-year, $12 million deal from Brooklyn. He had a solid season last year, given nobody else was really on the team to score, but he's a young guy, bigger wing. He's got some talent. The 2-year, $12 million, which seems like a lot more than it actually is, that's really like a bench player at this point. A end of the rotation bench players get about $6 million a year, it feels like, in the NBA. So if you're a kid trying to become rich one day, man, get to the NBA, because man, you don't even have to be that great in the NBA. This is a good deal for Brooklyn, though. There's a team option on it. I believe, yeah, the second year is a team option, so if he's not really going anywhere, it doesn't hurt them really long-term anyway. So good move for them. The Utah Jazz waived Johnny Juzang. Kind of a nothing move. He wasn't really doing much for him. I'm trying to kind of cover everything. Colin Gillespie intends to sign a guaranteed 1-year contract to return to the Phoenix Suns. They needed some point guard help. He had some really solid two-way moments for them. My business partner, who had been developing him a lot over the past couple years, is pretty thrilled about this. So that's a very, very exciting thing. Shout out to Mr. Gillespie here. Free agent forward Joe Ingles intends to sign a 1-year kind of veteran minimum to return to the Timberwolves. It sounds like he's just going to be there to kind of be that vet on the team at the end of the bench. These guys are really important. We've talked about it on the channel for a long time. You need that kind of bridge player between the coaching staff and the players that can kind of do a bit of both. I don't know if you saw Josh Hart tweet about it. He was like, boy, if you don't just retire and get out of here, cracks me up. We're probably not going to see Joe get in too many games this year, but this is important for having a cohesive team and building a good culture, so we love that. Free agent big man Daron Sharp gets a 2-year, $12 million deal to return to the Nets. I believe we drew this up in ideal offseason, almost to a T. I know we tried to trade him a couple times in some sign-in trades, but I believe that's how much we gave him for things. Again, nice, solid player for them. He's a good backup center, all things said and done. So good for them. Brooklyn's using up all that cap space they got. Nicolas Batum, who surprisingly opted out of his deal, at least to me, because I'm like, what? Is Nick Batum going to get more than the minimum? Well, apparently so, because everybody gets paid nowadays. And Nick Batum did have a very, very good season for the Los Angeles Clippers last year. By the way, does this feel like just scrolling on TikTok for you guys right now? Is this good for your little lizard brains that need to be fed different like clips at all times? Me just kind of rolling through this stuff really fast. Am I scratching an itch in your brain, you little lizard people out there? I don't know why I'm coming at y'all, but I want to. But yeah, Nick Batum had a really good year last year. The defense and the three-point shooting was huge for them, especially in the playoffs. He gets a 2-year, $11.5 million contract to kind of be one of those really nice bench players for them. Really good move for the Clippers being able to bring him back, man. He was a critical part for them. The Jazz, after yesterday, we kind of talked about the whole Colin Sexton trade. Weird ass trade, right? Still doesn't make sense to me. But it's whatever. They also went and waived Jordan Clarkson. Apparently there was no market for him. That I understood. Like, I understood Jordan Clarkson just really not having much of a market out there at this point. He's supposed to be that spark plug 6-man type, and he's just been falling off efficiency wise more and more. And it's like the team around him, it wasn't good, but like he still shouldn't have been playing like this poorly. Somebody will pick him up and give him some sort of minimum contract, and he'll be valuable somewhere. We'll all get excited about it. And like, there's still plenty of game, I feel like, in this guy. So I'm excited to see where he goes. Utah now has 3 young guards that they're going to try to play, and Walter Clayton, Collier, and Keontae George. 2 of those I'm much more curious about than the other. I could probably use some more veteran level players on the team, though, at those guard spots to maybe help those guys develop a little bit more. And I'm not saying Jordan Clarkson would have been that guy. I would have maybe rather kept Colin Sexton versus the others. But yeah, Clarkson is free to join a contender now or something like that, which is cool. All right, we're moving along. Yes, Jaren Jackson Jr. got his 5-year, $240 million extension. This is part of the reason why Desmond Bane was traded. They kind of needed to go through and make the money work to keep this guy. He's super important. You guys have heard me say before, I think he's the most critical part of that team, really. And you guys know I love Jaren Jackson Jr.'s game. So he gets a contract that's very deserving of him, but I'm pretty sure they can't legally do this contract. I'm pretty sure they have to move more money in order to make that happen. So the math in my head tells me like a John Conchar needs to move or something like that. Or who else do they even have on their team at this point? I'm trying to think through. Oh, they took on Cole Anthony after the Bane trade, so it's probably him, or John Conchar, one of the two. I don't know what the exact number is that they kind of have to get under in order to actually make this contract legal by the end of the moratorium phase. But yeah, it must be Conchar or Cole Anthony that's going to be on the move. So I guess we will see. Massive new deal for Jaren Jackson, includes a player option the final year. Memphis secures their franchise cornerstone long term. Yep, absolutely love it. And then Memphis again with the double header, giving both of their really key big men some money. Santi Aldama has agreed to a 3-year, $52 million deal to return to this. I need to get my goddamn calculator out so that I can like think about all of these numbers, because there's too much math going through my head right now. So 3 years, that's 17.5. That feels like a steal for Santi Aldama. Wow, that feels really good. Like, for example, for those of you not as in tune with like how much people are getting paid, if you're kind of an up and coming good starter, about 30 million is what you're getting. If you're like starter good, 25 million, like 6-man, like guy like that, 20-ish. So this feels pretty good, because Santi Aldama's like starter level good, I feel like. So this feels like quite the steal for them. He's able to do a lot of different things. I think he was kind of the forgotten 4th best player on their team this last year, where there's a lot of other talent at his position, and he beats them all out handily. I absolutely love this deal for them. I'm a big fan of Santi. It was funny, I drafted him maybe like 3 or 4 years ago in my legacy fantasy basketball league, and I like taxied him, meaning like he was basically a red shirt, and I nicknamed him like future starter of the Memphis Grizzlies, I promise y'all. And I feel pretty good about that. So that's one of those scouting reports that I did pretty well on. But anyway, shout out Santi Aldama here. Free agent Dorian Finney-Smith agrees to a 4-year, $53 million deal with the Houston Rockets. This one was interesting because we probably should have talked about, and by the way, that's $13.25 million. Makes sense. He opted out of like a $15 million deal with the Lakers earlier, and we were like, Oh, interesting. Who's giving him some money? Sounds like Houston is the one giving him some money. So he got the longer term guaranteed money. So obviously he's not getting as much this year, but he's getting more in the long term. But that's a big loss for the Lakers. He was kind of the 3-and-D guy on the team, and there's really not much more of it to go around. You're going to be feeling that loss. This is also the second time that Luka Doncic has lost his friend, Dorian Finney-Smith. That's so sad. That's just so sad for Luka. But Houston picking him up. Wow. So now all of a sudden you've got a little bit of spacing and some more defense on this like elite defensive team that needed shooting. You just lost Dillon Brooks. Now you got poor man's Dillon Brooks, who's still a very quality player. Obviously Kevin Durant is on the team. You've got some young guys that are growing. Houston, we might have a problem. Y'all might have some shooting and scoring now. This is getting interesting. Obviously you need more pure shot creators, but you're putting together a roster right now. So this is interesting. So yeah, $13 million. We love it. This might be a little bit scary by the back end of his deal, but I guess we'll see. Next, yeah, B-Ball Paul. I was a little bit surprised by this one. Agreed to a 2-year, $11 million contract, so 5.5, which I guess, again, maybe this is just how much like these guys are going for nowadays. Like I expect to see more like minimum contract things, but that's just how it is. It's funny, like they had just cut B-Ball Paul last year from Detroit, and they were like, hey, yeah, we don't want to pay you this much money. We're going to give you the minimum, and now they gave him kind of all this money back, so I guess it all works out. We love the energy and the kind of the passion that he plays with on the court. Kind of fits the Detroit basketball mindset, if you would. Maybe not always the most impactful player out there, but we love an effort big, and there's not many bigs to go around, so Detroit's making sure that they hold on to theirs. Very cool, very cool. Next, we have Cam Spencer for the Grizzlies. Again, Grizzlies getting busy out there. He's agreed to a 2-year, $4.5 million fully guaranteed contract. Blah, 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 blah. Spencer had flashes of strong play as a two-way rookie. Yeah, no, he really earned a lot more playing time, had a very nice season. I wasn't sure they were going to have the roster space to actually bring him back, but it seems like with everything, they're going to try to make it happen, or it seems like they just are going to make it happen. Obviously, we like the energy, the shooting, all of that type of stuff, so we clap it out for the two-way contracts, making it work, man. That's amazing. Super, super cool. Moving on. The Memphis Grizzlies and Cole Anthony's reps at Excel Sports are working toward a resolution. Oh, okay, here we go. That allows Memphis to create the necessary cap space. Should have just kept reading. I'm not like on Twitter that much. Like, don't get me wrong. I've got Shams notifications on and everything, but for a lot of these kind of free agent moves, I'm kind of just kind of letting it go by. If there's a trade, I go and make a video about it. Like I just did the Michael Porter Jr., Cam Johnson one, but I try to stay off of social media as much as possible because it just kind of pisses me off more so than anything else. But it is what it is. So, okay, so they're looking to trade Cole Anthony, which makes sense. Yeah, they need to free up some cap space. Who could use a Cole Anthony right now? Who could use a Cole Anthony? You know who? The Chicago Bulls. Let's send us another point guard. Let's do it. We'll help y'all out. We'll help y'all out. Next up, free agent forward Jake Laravia has agreed to a 2-year, $12 million deal with the Lakers. So this is where the Dorian Finney-Smith money is going, right? Obviously, without Dorian Finney-Smith there, the Lakers now, for those of you that don't know, right, once you run out of cap space, you can only re-sign your own players to a minimum, or you can only re-sign your own players to anything more than a minimum contract. But if you're at a certain point, you have exceptions, they're called, to use. You probably see it a lot. They're called like MLEs, mid-level exceptions. It's, I believe, like a full exception's like $14-ish million or something that you can spend on players that weren't on your team the previous year, but then you get capped at certain points when you use them. So there's kind of a give and take to it. And so because Dorian Finney-Smith wasn't there, that gave them the ability to use that exception, and it looks like they're using it on Jake Laravia, which Jake Laravia is a very solid basketball player, like quality on both ends of the court, pretty efficient. We see a little bit of upside in him because there was a little bit of like ball handling and stuff going on. Probably not going to get a chance to really like grow into that type of role now that he's on this Lakers team. But at least you get a forward that can stretch the floor, that's fine on defense. It's no Dorian Finney-Smith, but it's something, right? It's a little bit of depth. It's a useful player, a little bit of youth on their side with that one. So I think it's a good one. And so since it's 2 years, 12, presumably they've got like another like 8-ish million that they could throw at something or at someone. I'm not sure if that goes at like a Deandre Ayton or something like that. I also don't know how much the exception that they actually have, so maybe don't quote me on that, but they should be able to go get someone else with that money. Let's see, a fully guaranteed deal for Jake Laravia in Los Angeles, negotiate tonight. Okay, very cool, very exciting for him. My Chicago Bulls, we're bringing the point guards back. We need them all. The free agent guard Tre Jones has agreed to a 3-year, $24 million deal. Oh boy, I like Tre Jones a lot. I like his game. I actually played against him like growing up and stuff. I'm very familiar with him and Tyus. He's tough, man. He's tough. I like the energy he brings. He was fun on the team this year. I just don't know what the Bulls are doing, right? Like, he's on a very tradable contract. He's a cool player. Like, defensively, he's good. He's a nice playmaker, all of those types of things. I think he like genuinely like knows what he's doing out there. Which is nice to have. I just don't know how like all this works between like Kobe, Javon Carter, him, Giddey. I don't know, insert any other player you can think of. Lonzo's obviously gone now. It's just such a weird group, right? That I just don't feel like any of them actually complement each other. Like, this doesn't help Josh Giddey at all, which is really the only person we should be worried about, like, developing, like, him and, like, I guess Matas and Asenge. So that's my Chicago Bulls take, is just the Bulls just do fucking stupid moves all the time. And I'm not saying this is, like, a dumb contract or anything. I just don't know what it means more so than anything. It's just kind of like, okay, I get to watch more Tre Jones this year as a Bulls fan, which I like Tre Jones. It's just doesn't do anything for us. This one is interesting. So D'Angelo Russell has agreed to a 2-year, $13 million deal with the Dallas Mavericks. Here's something I want to say, right? Outside of the Luka trade, which is probably the worst trade I've seen in my life, right? That trade was horrible. Like, the Mavs front office has been just like doing it, man. Like, they are getting the right people in at the right time. Like, we know they needed a guard to hold them over until Kyrie Irving comes back. They went out and got their guard, man. D'Lo can hold the fort down. We all know what he can do, like, offensively, being a playmaker. He's going to have a lot of good players around him, a lot of good role players. I think he's going to be good until Kyrie Irving can come back at the end of the season. I think that's going to be a really nice option for them. They didn't win the Ty Jerome sweepstakes. They didn't get a Colin Sexton. Maybe they could have gotten a Kobe White. We would have given you a Kobe White if you called us, but they went out and just found one in free agency. Again, probably using those exceptions to get it done. So 2 years, 13 mil, like, that's $6.5 million. That's nothing. We're good with that. I don't know if it's like guaranteed in the second year at all, but this is a great deal, man. Like, Dallas continues to make pretty good moves. All else said and done, it's just, man, that Luka trade, like, Nico Harrison will just never live that down. Otherwise, like, dude was kind of making moves for a while, and like, I continue to say he is. This trade happened, MPJ for Cam Johnson. Basically, I thought it was really good for both sides. Again, go watch the video here if you're interested for more in-depth thoughts about that one. Next, we have Ty Jerome. Didn't see this one coming whatsoever. This was a shock to me. Ty Jerome agrees to a 3-year, $28 million deal with the Memphis Grizzlies, and so that comes out to less than $10 million a season. I'll be the first to say, like, because Ty Jerome had an awesome year, like, 6th man of the year conversation and all of that, whatnot. I didn't think he was, like, actually that great. I thought he was kind of the subject of a lot of other people getting attention and him being able to take advantage of, like, kind of the worst defender on the court sometimes. And I'm not sure I see, like, a ton of creation skill going forward. It seems like the NBA market tends to agree with that. One, there just wasn't a lot of cap to go around, so that affected it. But, I mean, he didn't get more than $10 million. The fact that he's going to Memphis, though, is very interesting because, again, he can play off of a lot of better players here. Now, they've already got like another guard in Scottie Pippen, but I think we all know that he can kind of play either guard, that Ty Jerome can play either guard position. It's certainly a great depth move. I mean, he is a very nice basketball player still. So you got Ja Morant, you got Scottie Pippen Jr., you got Ty Jerome, you have a really good guard rotation there. You'll have a KCP there. Cedric Coward might get some minutes for you. Like, this is good. Cole Anthony's on the move, so I guess we'll see. Memphis, you're building a little squad. Y'all got a little squad right now, so you should be excited about this. I think this is a good like fit for him, and I'm glad that the market was where I thought it was for him. Let's see. Kevin Porter Jr. gets a 2-year, $11 million deal. Again, kind of this 5.5 with a player option in 2026-27. The Bucks prioritize bringing back Porter. So yeah, once Lillard went down, Kevin Porter Jr. was like one of the few people that could actually go and get a bucket on this Bucks team when all's said and done. For those of you that haven't followed the Kevin Porter Jr. career arc, dude is a walking bucket. He's one of those extreme scorers that plays without a consciousness, and if he gets hot, you can't really do much to stop him because of the athleticism, the ball handling, the balance, everything that he has. It's great. Bit of a head case, right? And that's kind of why he fell in the draft. I mean, his own college coaches, I know them very well, were like, I was not wanting to coach that guy anymore. Get him out of here. And that takes a lot for coaches to say when you're that talented. But obviously, once he got moved from the Clippers this last year, because he kind of got reinstated back into the NBA after being away for a bit, he went to Milwaukee, had some pretty good success there. Milwaukee needs anything they can on the team. It makes sense to give him this, and he's got the player option, so he'll be motivated to play really, really well, opt out and go get himself some more money, right? I think this is good. You need some scoring guards on this team, and that's certainly something that he can do. While it's not always the best efficiency, he can go do it, right? He can go do it. And in a wide open East, you need guys like this on the team. So I love that move. Here we go. Bruce Brown, 1-year deal coming back to the Denver Nuggets. I know Nuggets fans are so hyped. Now, we haven't seen Bruce Brown play too much basketball in the past, like a couple years, right? Been a little bit injured, been a little bit off and on since he left Denver. Just hasn't been that great for him. I'd like to hope that it's going to go back to what it was. Overall, this is a good move. This happens because of this Michael Porter Jr. Cam Johnson trade. Michael Porter Jr. makes like $18 million more than Cam does. Frees up a lot of space to go actually get you some bench players. So not only did you potentially get a better player in Cam Johnson, and given you had to give up a very valuable draft pick to do it as well, and Michael Porter Jr. was no slouch of a basketball player, but you add Cam Johnson, who's just a better all-around offensive player. Defensively, they both kind of had pretty identical seasons this year. Michael Porter Jr. has had much higher defensive, highs in general than Cam Johnson, but still, I don't think he's a pushover by any means. But this allows you to bring back some depth. Bruce Brown playing off ball with Nikola Jokic. We get to see it again in all the floaters. Very exciting. Very, very exciting to see him coming back there. Super cool. Do we know this? Do we know this deal at all? What it actually is priced out at? We don't know for sure. Alrighty, but I'm a big fan of the Bruce Brown back to Denver. This is cool. Nice to have some depth on that team again. I'm sure they'll make some more moves. Next, Kevon Looney has agreed to a 2-year, $16 million deal. Oh my God, it's just so crazy where NBA money is at nowadays. I just remember being a kid again and being like, wow, man, this guy makes like $20 million. Like that's like the MVP right there. And now it's like $16 million for and nothing against Kevon Looney, but for a guy that you maybe play like 20 minutes, like most. But no, Kevon Looney's still a solid defensive player, going to be a hard-nosed guy. Like the Pelicans needed a center. That was clear. They had Yves Missy. This is a good vet to bring on the team, right? He's going to teach Yves Missy the ropes. Got some championship pedigree. Got a good relationship with Jordan Poole, I hear. I hear that those two are super tight. So this is a pretty cool move for them. They needed another big on the team, so I think that this is going to be a good addition to them. Not actually sure how much it helps them basketball court-wise, but it's probably good development-wise. Russell will have a player option in his second season, so same thing as Kevin Porter Jr. here. Play well enough, play hard enough for us until Kyrie Irving gets back. Go get your money elsewhere then, dude. So they're just giving him the chance to show his stuff. I absolutely love this. End of an era in Golden State with Kevon Looney. Yeah, it is. This one is insane for a couple of reasons. Free agent center Luke Cornet. I haven't really had any wow, this is a dumb move moment yet. And I'm not about to say that this one is. I have just a couple things to say about this one. Free agent center Luke Cornet has agreed to a 4-year, $41 million deal with the San Antonio Spurs, so about $10 million a year right now. Again, bench player money. Key front court addition for the Spurs, who negotiate a contract tonight. Wow. Couple things, right? First of all, can we just clap it out for Luke Cornet? Dude's been basically living off 10 days and minimums for the past 5. It's not like the dude was starving, right? By any means, but this dude just kept chasing it. He didn't look like he was necessarily going to make it in the league for a while there. I know when he was on the Bulls, I was like, what the fuck is this? Come on, bro. I can't watch you play basketball, but man, has he developed? Has he become a guy that can be used night in and night out? Absolute credit to this guy. We know the Spurs wanted to add another big to their roster, so they go and add Luke Cornet to the team so that they have another center kind of after Wemby to go to. A lot of height, a little bit of shot blocking, some quality defense. Cool, very smart basketball player, a pro's pro. We love all that. It isn't exactly the center that I'd like to have. I'd like to have more of like the beefy kind of like rebound oriented center on this team, but it's kind of hard to get a hold of one of those right now, so I don't blame them. I am surprised they went and gave a contract like this long to somebody right now, just because the Spurs do have to be a little bit careful financially over the next couple of years as they kind of work themselves up into being a tax team and being a super competitive team. You don't want to hit that too quickly, but they needed a center, so it makes some sense. So I'm not saying this is a bad move by any means. I hope that that's clear. And by the way, I encourage all of you guys to leave your comments down below. I'm reading things on my phone as they happen. This is live. What's happening? I just see Bleacher Report things coming up on my phone. Is it anything interesting? The Nets plan to extend MPJ. Okay, I'm just making sure. Just reading things to be sure. But yeah, shout out to Luke Cornet, man. That's awesome. This one. What's going on here? Free agent center Clint Capela has agreed to a 3-year, $21.5 million deal with the Houston Rockets. So what, he's getting about $7-ish million a year? Okay, so we can all do some math, right? We can all do some math. And here's how the basic NBA fan thinks about this. And I'm not going to lie, this is how I thought about it too. I went, they had Alperen Şengün. They just signed Steven Adams back. And now they have Clint Capela. Normally you just have starters and bench. Normally you don't play 2 centers at once, so why Rockets have 3 centers, right? That's what caveman think. That's what caveman Twitter person think, and that's kind of what AVC think as well. I'm not gonna lie, there's a big part of me that the Rockets are looking at that playoff run where they were like, maybe we should always do 2 centers because that like Şengün, Steven Adams like lineup works so well for them. I genuinely think they're just gonna start throwing 2 centers out all the time, and I don't know how I feel about that. It doesn't make a ton of basketball sense to me personally. That sounds like more of a headache to try to work around. Don't get me wrong. As somebody that's played a lot of basketball and who my semi-pro team that I play on the weekends, we're 2-0, by the way. We just won our last game yesterday. We start 2 centers because it's like pickup ball and people are stupid and we can just take advantage of more size. Maybe that's how the NBA is going too. I don't know. This is a little bit interesting. At the very least, like they're all very tradable people and they're valuable, so it's just like a good asset acquisition, if nothing else. Clint Capela is a nice player. I just find it a little bit odd. It feels like a weird place to spend a little bit of money for them. Just didn't quite feel like what they needed, but hey, fair enough. Maybe we're going to see some more 2-center lineups from them. I would find that to be pretty interesting. Let's keep on scrolling up. Capela's agent, blah, 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 fully guaranteed deal. Cool. All right. We keep scrolling up. Oh, there's so much happening. Don't spoil it. I haven't seen all of this stuff yet. Caris Levert agrees to a 2-year, $29 million deal. So $14.5 million a year with the Detroit Pistons. We kind of knew this one was going to happen. The big pillar here was Malik Beasley, who may or may not go to jail for all the sports betting and everything. We will see. I hope that that's not true. I know Terry Rozier was just found not guilty for that stuff. So that's good, right? We don't want people going away for forever. It wouldn't be forever, but the government takes that shit seriously. I mentioned this in a video the other day. For those of you that think the lottery is rigged, do not mess with the federal government and things that are lotteries and like gambling. They are very serious about that. That stuff is real. Take your tinfoil hats off. But we kind of figured that this was their backup plan going after Caris Levert. And that's what they're doing, which leads us to believe maybe Malik Beasley isn't going to be back. That we'll see, right? Caris Levert, not quite the same player as Malik Beasley. More of a shot creator than somebody that does a lot of the catch and shoot. He actually became a pretty good 3-point shooter this last year. Again, not near the career shooter that Malik Beasley is. But we really saw some nice development from Caris Levert last year. This will be another shot creator for them, especially if they're losing like a Dennis Schroeder. So you're kind of going to have 3 creating guards on this team between Cade, Ivy, presumably, and Caris Levert, which is cool. It's good to have a lot of those guys on the team because a lot of the other players on your team just can't really do any sort of creation whatsoever. But yeah, this is a solid backup plan if you're not going to have Malik Beasley, although obviously Beasley would be option 1 for how good he was this last season. But yeah, shout out them. And because of this, other things are going to happen that we'll talk about later. Free agent center Brook Lopez has agreed to a 2-year, $18 million deal. For those of you that can't do math, that's $9 million a year to go to the Clippers. Wow, wow, wow. So the Clippers, who they desperately needed backup big man help last year because Zubac was awesome, and then they just kind of didn't have much else going on last year. They now have their backup center, and it's a completely different type of center. Still a good drop coverage defender. He can still shoot the basketball. He's physical. He's smart. You got a deep Clippers team, man. You got a deep one. And now rookie Yannick can learn from him and Zubac. Oh, boy. Yeah, you got a good thing going with the Clippers. I'm not going to lie. I really like how the Clippers be running things ever since like Ballmer came into things. I've gotten to meet Ballmer through some interesting like means in my life. But he's just such a cool, energetic guy. Feels like the type of guy you want to play for going forward. I wonder if he'll become like a new Mark Cuban type, although he doesn't quite have the same personality. But regardless, I think this is a really good move for them. Sucks for the Bucks, right? Obviously, they went and gave Bobby Portis a new contract, so he's coming back. But the Clippers had a little bit of money to spend, bringing back Batum, bringing back Brook. They've got the all-vet team going on right now, man. They got the savvy vet team. Ain't nobody on this team partying outside of James Harden, man. They go straight to bed at 8 o'clock type of group. So I think it's a great move as well. I think it's cool. Next, Luka Garza, which we kind of figured he would be on the move. He got a 2-year, $5.5 million fully guaranteed deal from the Celtics. So a couple moving parts here. Luka Garza, for those of you unfamiliar, he's been there's an ambulance going by. I really don't want to cut my video because I just like to do this all in one take. So you're just going to have to listen to it for a damn second. Luka Garza's been kind of like a quality third string center in Minnesota for the past like couple seasons. It shows a little bit of the scoring touch, physical presence, will fight for rebounds, all that kind of stuff, right? They went and drafted two other centers in Jean Berger and Rocco Zakarski. So they've got their new projects, right? They didn't want to pay because they're a team that has a lot of salary eaten up in other places. They don't want to pay anybody that's not like a rookie salary at this point. So they have no need for Luka Garza anymore. The Celtics need cheap options to come in and play rotational minutes. I think Luka Garza can play some backup center minutes for you. I'm actually really excited to see him have a little bit of a bigger role this year. This is not a guy that I would have thought would have played well in the NBA, so I'm curious to see how he does now. I think it's a good move. Again, not complaining too much right now. And now we have the final pillar from the Malik Beasley move that's brought Karis Levert to Detroit, and this is also an effect of there's motorcycles going by. You guys are just going to listen to this. You're just going to listen to this. Have you guys ever seen the South Park episode with the Harley Davidsons, and they all just call the Harley Davidson people a word that I just prefer not to use? I don't like. How do I want to say this? Like, people that like rev their motorcycles like really loud and just drive through places, I just think you're such a loser. I just think you just weren't very well liked in high school, and this is how you need to get attention now. I don't know, man. Like, it doesn't do it for you. We all think you're a fucking loser, so just don't do it. It's really annoying. But anyway, because the Timberwolves went and signed Julius Randle and Naz Reid, they had no money left for Nickeil Alexander-Walker. So they did a sign and trade, which was anticipated to go to the Hawks because they don't have Karis Levert anymore. So the Hawks are getting Nickeil Alexander-Walker on a 4-year, $62 million deal, which, let's do the math on that one because AVC doesn't want to do the math on that right now. 15.5? That feels appropriate. He didn't have like a substantial year this last year, but we've all seen what Nas been able to do. This adds another 3-and-D guy to the team, so the Hawks, in theory, should have a good defensive team next year. Like, they really should around Trae Young. This is probably the best defensive group that they've put around in a while, and another hopefully reliable shooter on the team. I think this is great. I think this is a really good move for them. All they had to trade, because there's not really any leverage that happens here, and this is one of the benefits of the CBA, is that the Timberwolves get something out of this. They get a little bit of cash in their pocket, and they get a second-round pick in like 2027 or something like that. So I really like this. I think it's good. Yeah, it's a 2027 second-round pick via Cleveland. It's not much, but it's something. So you didn't lose him for absolutely nothing. Alrighty, the Orlando Magic get Tyus Jones, 1 year, $7 million deal. Cool, is my response. We've been talking about how the Magic need more playmaking. Tyus Jones can do that. He can step out and hit an open three. Great, that's exciting. He's a pro's pro. He's not going to turn the ball over. He's going to help you like run some offense, get some people moving, hopefully. I'd still like more of the shot creator point guard on this team. I still feel like we're missing that archetype. This team still feels like come to the playoffs they're just not, they're just kind of going to stall out on offense again. But man, you should have a good defensive team. I do think this is a good move. Like, I think this is the type of player you want to add. Very well could be a starter on this. No, he won't be a starter because they'll start Suggs at the 1 and Bane. But this is a good guy to have come off the bench, kind of lead some things. We'll see how this works with kind of Anthony Black. It's again, it's not the most like logical thing in the world, but I don't think it's a bad add to this team because they, again, need more people to kind of initiate offense, get things moving, make on-time, on-target passes, can step out and hit a shot when needed, is not going to make many mistakes. That's good. You need guys like this on a young team like that. Next, what is this? Nigel Hayes? No, shot from Wisconsin. The 2025 EuroLeague champion and finals MVP as well as target has agreed to a fully guaranteed 1-year deal with the Phoenix Suns. Okay, so this is kind of interesting. Nigel Hayes was a part of the start of my coaching career, actually, and in a really weird way. I'm not going to explain all of it, but Nigel Hayes kind of played a part in the start of my like basketball career. So this is really interesting, actually. I didn't actually even know where he was at this point. So I guess he's going to the Suns. Cool. I have no other insight about it. I don't know what he's doing nowadays. I just know he's a bigger forward that was really fun to watch in Wisconsin back in the day. So cool. Yeah, that's all I got to say about this. Free agent sharpshooter Luke Kennard has agreed to a 1-year, $11 million deal with the Hawks. Oh boy, we're getting shooters in Atlanta today. We letting it fly out there in Atlanta. Okay, they're trying to take advantage of. I haven't seen any of this stuff yet. I'm gonna be real. Oh yeah, it was only 7 minutes ago. It's interesting, right? Isn't it interesting? I feel like they still just need like another point guard on this team. I feel like they've got enough of these people now, right? But no, I like it. Like, Luke Kennard's one of the best 3-point shooters in the NBA, if not the best at this point. So add him to the team. That's a lot of gravity just around a Trae Young in general. And actually, kind of a sneaky good playmaker is Luke Kennard. I know it doesn't seem like it, but if you actually watch him play over the past couple seasons, he's actually pretty good with the basketball, and he can actually create a little bit. So I know it's not intuitive for you to think that based off how he looks, but promise me you'll watch some film before you leave a dumbass comment, okay? I like it, I guess. 1 year, $11 million. Who cares? He's gone after this season anyway. You get a great shooter. What else do you want me to say about it, right? It's important to have guys like that on the squad, so you should have some pretty solid spacing on the team this year. I like it. Hawk star Trae Young reached out to Kennard and Nah this evening to help recruit them to the franchise. Cool. I'm sure, and I'm sure it was tonight, right? I'm sure it was tonight. Let's refresh the page and kind of see what else is going on here. Okay, we've reached the top of the Shams board. Let's go over to Spot Track. Refresh the page, see if there's anything that we've missed. We've talked about Fred VanVleet on the channel before, Sam Merrill, Ty Jerome, Trey Jones, Davion Mitchell, Kevon Looney, Jake Laravia. I saw that there was like some discrepancy about where Jake Laravia was going at one point, which was, that's always funny to see the reporters kind of going at it. Tyus Jones, Luka Garza, Cam Spencer. It's looking like we touched on everybody. I think we touched on everybody. Okay, AVC, you did it. You actually went through and talked about all of it. I'm sure there's going to be more news that gets announced by the time that I'm editing this shit or whatever, but what time is it now? It's like 8 o'clock. That'll just kind of be my cutoff for each of these days, and I'll just kind of recap everything as it happens. It should just exponentially kind of slow down as people are signing quicker and quicker with things, because people got to fight over those exceptions and cap space things. Like, you just got to sign and move on if you're these guys. So really, really exciting stuff. I hope you guys are enjoying free agency. It's a lot of fun to me. I really didn't see any bad moves. I'm a little bit confused about the Capela one. At least I feel like he could have gone and gotten a bit better role, but I guess he got the money, so like I guess it doesn't really matter, right? The Cornet one is maybe a little bit strange to me, but not like something they didn't need. Otherwise, like, a lot of these make some sense. I hope Bruce Brown's still going to be Bruce Brown. The Ty Jerome one was a surprise, but I think it's fine. Like, the Trey Jones one doesn't really make a ton of sense to me, but you know what? It's not like it's a bad contract for this player. The worst thing we could do is have him show out and trade him, I suppose. It sucks for the Lakers that they're losing Finney-Smith for Laravia, but whatever. Otherwise, like, pretty good moves, man. Pretty good moves. Nothing shocking or anything happening here. I love it. I absolutely love it. But seriously, I appreciate you guys as always. And I'm not going to do a comment to the video or anything like that. We're just going to go start editing this, and then I have to edit tomorrow's video. Just a quick update regarding things. I will have like a long form video out for you guys tomorrow. I'm not going to guarantee those for the rest of the week, as you guys will be just getting content as more free agency stuff happens, trades happen, all of those things, and we'll go from there. But anyway, appreciate you guys as always. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll talk to you later.